Sup guys, it's your boy Tayshawn, and in this video I'm going to be transforming the LEGO Parisian restaurant modular into an Olive Garden. Alright, now let's get started. So if you haven't been to Olive Garden before, it's basically an American version of an Italian restaurant. Now the original Parisian restaurant set is French, but I always thought that it gave off Olive Garden vibes. So when I first started modifying the set, I only changed the front entrance of it to have the brick veneer pattern that's common on all Olive Gardens, along with the Olive Garden sign. While it was cool and all, I decided that it wasn't enough and wanted to modify the whole thing. So I started by dismantling the back interior walls so that I could expand the inside. And I also added a 16x32 base plate to make it even bigger. The area that's tiled is how big the interior used to be, so as you can see, it's a lot bigger now. The next step was to add the interior before we finish off the walls. So the tiles that we're going to use are tan and dark tan, which is sort of similar to the original tiling. Okay, so now that all of the tiles are laid, we need to add all the furniture and tables to really make the inside come to life. So first, I'm going to add a couple of booths in this area and a couple more in this corner. Now, we'll add some tables, with this one having an empty plate with soup and the other a plate of spaghetti with a wine bottle. In this area, there's going to be more seating, but instead of booths, there are regular chairs. This table has a plate of lasagna and another plate of spaghetti. The next table is empty with 4 chairs, and it has a couple of menus on it. Now, it's time to finish off the walls. And the first one that we're going to add is an interior wall to cover up the kitchen, with a doorway to enter. Now we're going to add the rest of the exterior walls, and since there's a booth right here, I think it will look good if we have a nice tall window so that the people eating here will have a nice view of outside. Next is the back wall, and it uses the same colors as the rest of the wall, which are light bluish gray and olive green. Okay, so now all the walls are finished, but we need to have a support in this area because the end of the second floor is going to rest right here. So I added these arches with some vines attached to them, which really gives the inside more of an Italian vibe. Next, we're going to add another iconic part of Olive Garden, which is a bar. There's 3 chairs with a long table for drinks to be served, and at the back is where all the wine bottles are, which I actually made twice as long to fit more bottles. Okay, so now that the inside is done, it's time to focus more on the exterior. I ended up changing the awning design from using dark red tiles to these cool 1x2 and 1x4 log bricks. I used brown and nougat as this is more accurate to Olive Garden, as well as Italian roofs in general. In case you didn't notice, I added this tall gray section to the corner because that's a feature that some of the new Olive Gardens have. To cover that section up, I added this roof that has floor sloping sections to it, and to cover up the tall glass area, I made another sloping roof that has smooth ridges on it. I was able to connect the 2 parts using clip pieces. Now we're going to add the second floor, along with this balcony section that was already a part of the set. But one problem is that there's still a gap, so in order to cover it up, I just made a flat roof using some plates, and covered it with greenery to add more detail. On the second story, which was just a small apartment, most of everything remained the same, except for the stone pattern around the windows, which used to be olive green. I also changed the window frames to be black instead of white. Now, the third floor is going to experience more changes. I'm not really a huge fan of all the white and navy blue as it doesn't really match the rest of the build, so how about let's just remove all that. To replace it, I chose to add more of the brick veneer pattern along with some windows with black frames to match the second floor. Now the final part is to make a roof to cover this section, which I'm going to copy the design of the awning on the first floor with more log bricks. I think that this looks pretty good and really matches the whole building a lot better. Now, all that's left to do is finish off the sidewalks and add some greenery to really complete the build. And one very last detail to add are the iconic Olive Garden breadsticks, which yes, they are a little big, but you get the point. Okay, so now that we're finished, let's add it to the city. This is where I decided to put it, and I think it looks great in this area. And since there was some space left over, I decided to put a small parking lot beside it. As someone who enjoys eating at Olive Garden, I'm glad to finally see one made out of Lego. And the civilians in my LEGO city are glad to see one as well. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below letting me know what you thought about this video. Peace out.